coming back to your work on lens-based works, your practice on lens-based works, how did they suddenly bring to the fore the veiled Indian life with its, with its sheer speed and subjectivity?
Veiled as in
because
hijab, veiled.
In the sense, Indian life was, it didn't surface that much, or the private practices didn't surface so much before that. When the first generation of post-colonial artists were still operational, it didn't surface so much. But with the lens-based works, a completely unknown life of Indian life came to the fore. How did that kind of change take place?
I was very interested in photography. It's a very personal response to the medium. So the exhibition that I did after the big women's exhibition in the NGMA was called Woman Goddess. I received a Ford Foundation grant, and it was very interesting nobody created work for the show. These were archives. And the photo archive is one of the best kept secrets of this country. One of the things I was able to see recently was to go to the Jaipur City Palace. There in the 1850s, Maharaja Ram Singh II created what he called Photo Ka Karkhana. And there are even now 2,500 glass plate negatives which have never really seen the light of day. They are the first document, if you're talking about the veiled. He has this entire body of work on the women of the harem, which is spectacular. I mean, to think that in the 1850s, a Maharaja was taking time off. And I read his diary, which was in a particular script. We got it translated. He would take time off every evening and photograph what he did. He had a theatre company. He had these women. He had the British residents, etc. And there's this massive and beautiful archive. It predates Samuel Bourne. If you see his photograph of the Taj Mahal, there are trees surrounding the Taj Mahal. By the time you see Samuel Bourne's Taj Mahal in 1860, there are no trees. But Ram Singh is an unknown photographic genius. So Tripura, Jind, Jaipur, Indore, these are the sites within royal palaces of great photo archives. That's one. Then there is the official photo archive, which I've already spoken to you about. How was the nation constructed? These are dying, languishing. Some are being excavated, like the Kulwant Roy photo archive, that's one. Then there is the family album, like Umrao Singh Shergill is one, but then there are many, many others, which are very important. So in that sense, photography remains a partially veiled medium, but then you have a great efflorescence of using the medium right from the 50s, 60s onwards. And certainly from the generation of S. Paul, Raghu Rai, where it becomes the photographer as star. The photographer as star who competes almost with the artist as star is born. And working with photographers is different from working with artists, and there's a lot of conflict sometimes. It's very interesting. Photographers believe that artists shouldn't show their work with them. We've had this kind of thing in major exhibitions. They believe that they are two separate entities.
Well, how was this received globally? And with that, I'd also like to know what were some of your anxieties when you were showcasing Indian artists both in Asia as well as in the abroad?
Two exhibitions that I've done abroad have been photo-based works. It's good to work with the co-curator. The co-curator knows the audience. The co-curator knows the space. The co-curator can help with design, which is a very critical element. You know your artist. You know your work. So this was very good. One of the exhibitions that we did, which was lens-based, which traveled to the United States, was Indian video and photography. Which was again from about the 50s, early Raghu Rai, Raghubir Singh, right up to the contemporary. There were no issues of censorship. There were no issues of politics. What is very important when you're dealing with the West is their understanding of photographic history, which is not so well internalized in India at the moment, simply because we haven't written it. We haven't written it out, but what are the parallels or what are the points of conflation and divergence with the way photography has become a great art medium in the West and in India? I think that becomes an area of a certain amount of anxiety, a certain amount of having to bring material to people's notice who've never seen it before. So there is a huge historical backlog in a certain sense, which you have to deal with as a curator. If you can do it successfully, you can do it in two ways. Either through your text, completely document that entire period. That's one, and it's a necessary one. The other is to make the images just so powerful that the lay person coming into the museum has no difficulty in understanding it.
We're going to return to your other curatorial ventures right after it, because I just have a few questions. Yeah.